Welcome to Of Sound Mind and Spirit. I'm Shelley.
And I'm Lisa. We're sisters walking together on a journey of faith. We're not perfect.
And we definitely don't have all the answers. We're inviting you to walk with us as we explore ways we can better know and grow in our faith together.
Welcome back to another episode from Of Sound Mind and Spirit. Hey, Shelley.
Hey, Lisa.
All right, I am going to jump right in with a big question for you today.
Uh-oh.
All right, but first I need you to close your eyes. And this is audio, so I totally will know if you're closing your eyes or not.
Okay, my eyes are closed.
Okay.
I'm peeking. No, I'm kidding. Okay.
Okay, I want you to think about going on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, your social media channel of preference, and scrolling through your feed. Now imagine the typical posts that you're going to encounter. And then think about the comments that you would read on those most engaging posts. Can you describe what you feel at this moment? Is it dread, happiness, confusion, sadness, jealousy, maybe anger?
Only a sister would tell you exactly how you might feel, but okay.
Always. Just giving suggestions.
Man, I almost hate to say this, Lisa. There are days that comments make me despair because if you're talking about something, people get very hateful and angry. And I have to be careful not to look at too much of that because I don't understand why there's so much ugliness directed at other people online. I really don't. I feel like we've lost the art of conversation. And I wonder all the time now, how much of what I'm seeing is real?
Ooh, that's a good one.
I don't know anymore if it's real or if someone's saying something in order to get a reaction or get a click. I wonder if it's true.
Mm-hmm.
And what makes me worry about it then is how do I teach my 12-year-old to ignore it or to not respond to it or to discern what is true and false? And my guess is a lot of us have that similar perspective.
Yeah, I would say not just the 12-year-old, the older ones too. How to live in a society with social media being such an integral part of our world. And even if we're a little older than our kids, we're still affected by it. And aren't you excited now that this is what we're talking about?
Oh, yes.
So, dear listener, before you get worried that we're going to rag on and on about the evils of social, we'll put a pin in the evils because there are definitely things that you have to be careful of going online and for ourselves and especially our teenagers. So this is a conversation for us as adults about how we're experiencing social media.
I think, Lisa, that in our conversation back and forth, I think we're going to have some good ideas that we as adults can utilize for our teenagers also.
Well, yeah, I think like we've talked about many times that by us learning how to do something or how to do, like how we use it and how we think about it and discern right from wrong, or then we'll be able to set that example and to model and also engage in conversations with our young people about how to help them navigate this world because it's not going away. It is part of our society. And I don't even know if I need to say it. Like I agree with you. There's so much negativity, the division, and also loneliness. There are studies that show that spending time on, especially Instagram seems to be the worst one. They have all these pretty pictures and perfect worlds, and then you feel worse about yourself or you feel alone or what. Everyone else has it put together. Everyone else is perfect, and I am not. Like you said, authenticity, is lacking out there, especially with the filters. Oh my gosh.
I feel less like everyone is perfect and more like everyone is curating a public persona these days. And I have to say, I get weary of it from time to time. And so a lot of what I choose to follow, I try very deliberately to put good things in my feed. And there are days I feel like the companies or however this algorithm thing works are trying to yank it away from me.
Well, and I think you said something really important, and that is if you're seeing things that are making you crazy or irritating or making you jealous or whatever, stop following them. Like you said, like purposely look for, who be intentional about who you follow and what you're looking at. I've done that. There are several people who I realize brings out something that I feel jealous or upset looking at. And so I choose to unfollow.
I love you, Lisa. You're my sister. And I'm not going to unfollow you just because you have like the perfect picture of a perfect kitchen. I'm just letting you know. Okay.
I have a perfect dog. That's what you should be jealous about. Is
No,
all my pictures of my dog.
no, not a dog person. And now I got a lot of haters going, oh, she's not a dog person. She doesn't like dogs.
That's okay. If they knew how many times you have to mute my audio because the dog is barking in the background, they might understand your dislike. You like my dog. Well, we can have a dog conversation
I
another day, but you
tolerate
do
your
like my
dog.
dog.
I
You've
tolerate your
actually you've
dog.
actually touched him.
Yes, I have. And that's a rare thing. I have touched your dog. That is true.
Okay, so whether or not you watch all the dog videos, the cat videos,
Yeah, I don't understand dog and cat videos at all.
I didn't until I got a dog. Okay, having worked in social media marketing for like a decade or more, I've always been one of those people who's like, I love social media. But these days, it does make me, I'm a little more sad when I go online because I see so much division, big, serious topics that are worth discussing, but they're worth more than a reel or the way that it's, worth more than a soundbite. And people just they want to fight about it and argue about it in little comments rather than have it a sincere discussion and really understand where the other person is coming from. So social media is here. It's a part of our lives. Why are we on it? And I'll let you answer that question before I tell you what I think.
Well, we've made no bones about the fact that we started writing together in 2009, and for me at least, Facebook was the first social media I joined in 2008. And I joined it because we had a high school reunion. I will not tell you the year. And a lot of people then were asking, "Hey, are you on Facebook?" So I joined Facebook and very quickly realized that I had more high school friends on Facebook than I had when I was in high school.
That's awesome.
It was really weird.
It is funny how that works, right?
And well, what's funny about that is over these past, oh my gosh, has it been 15 years? I do have what I'll call an online relationship or an online friendship with some people that I knew in high school that I didn't know well, but now I enjoy interacting with them
Mm-hmm.
or, seeing them online. I'll say it like that. But those early years, it was a fun new communications tool. It was something that was building community. Some of my
Mm-hmm.
best friends in the whole wide world come from an old website called parentsoup.com. And Lisa, we're talking almost 25 years ago. I have been friends with people that I met only online.
Yeah, old bulletin
And
boards, right? Or
yes.
mommy groups or whatever. Yeah.
So,
I would say I joined for the same reason. It was curiosity because people kept telling me about it. And then you made these connections and it was fascinating. And I love going through my Facebook timeline or when it says like memories and you see we used to post the silliest things. It's fun looking back at some of it. What's for dinner or the kids are in bed now. What should I do? Like what should I watch? I asked a lot of questions about what should I watch. I see that all the time. But I think we went there, curiosity, and then we realized there was a real community that could be found.
I'll agree.
So I just realized we didn't really answer the question. Why are we on social media? It started out as connections and community and all of this, and it has evolved and changed over the years. And now then we said it's this dark, dreary place. So, oh my gosh, now I'm like, why are we there? Why are we there?
Well, Lisa, when the internet first came out, it was the great Saint Pope John Paul II. And he said the internet can offer magnificent opportunities for evangelization if used with competence and a clear awareness of its strengths and weaknesses. So, right from the bat, even JP2 adopted and accepted this new technology to bring people together in a global way. He also had the first email in the Vatican. I mean, the first
Yeah.
pope to have an email. Sorry. But he didn't go on Twitter.
No, Pope Benedict was the first pope on Twitter.
Yeah.
I love that because you're right. If you think about it, we are all called. We've talked about this before. We are all called to evangelize. We're all called to share, the good news, Christ's love with the world. And the social media, the internet, it's a tool, right? That's all it
Mhm.
is. It's a man-made tool as a way to communicate. And so Pope Benedict spoke about it in 2009, 2010, talking about, he called it the digital continent, which was kind of, if you think about those times, that was kind of a cute way of saying it. But, we had to go and proclaim the gospel on the digital continent. We couldn't leave it and ignore it because he saw it, that it was becoming part of our society and it's part of where people were hanging out. So we as Christians are called to, as you say, like shine the light of God's love. Like, let's go and
Mhm.
be present where there are people.
And our pastor once gave a homily on this, and Father John said, like any man made thing, social media is neither good nor bad in and of itself. It is how we use it that makes the difference. It's like any other tool. If we use it to tear people down or to destroy them, then it's bad.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if we use it to build people up, if we use this new technology to spread the good news, if we use it to show our Christian faith, then we make it a good thing.
Yes, I love that. So that is the point of the episode. It just took us a long time to get here. In the midst of all of the despair and ugliness and negativity online and in social media these days, we are called as Christians to always show God's love to others. And so that is what we're here to talk about, is like, how do we do that on social media? If we're there and we're using it, we should use it as a tool for evangelization.
Absolutely. A lot of the things that you've been posting on our social media account, we are trying to reflect love, truth, understanding, and importantly, mercy.
Mm-hmm.
I do follow quite a few other Christian and Catholic people on social media, and I really enjoy seeing those.
Right. So there are a lot of Christians and Catholics and a lot of people who are really doing a good job online of showing God's love and mercy on social media and reflecting that to people, whether it's overt or it's very subtle. So imagine how many people are there, Christians in the U.S. This is not a trivia question.
Since you looked it up and you told me before we started, I will answer that. There are more than 72 million Catholics in the United States and 210 million Christians in the United States.
That's right.
And there are 1.2 billion with a B Catholics and a total of 2.6 billion Christians across the globe. And if we were all being good on social media, what could we do as people of faith?
Yeah. Think about it. We could, it's not called shine the light of God's love on social media. Like, be positive. How do we
How
do
do we
that?
take over?
How do we take over? Take over all the things.
What was it you said earlier? Create a tidal wave.
I love it. A tidal wave of God's love. That's exactly what we want to do.
Well, Lisa, knowing you, you've got tips, or I can hear you. I can hear you leading up to this. You have ways we can take action as Catholics, as Christians, to make that tidal wave happen, don't we?
Of course I do.
Mhm. See, I know my sister.
I have 3, and I think you have one you're going to add to it. So we have 4. 4 ways. Okay, so the first one, and we kind of talked about this a little bit, engage as you do in real life. Be you. Not the you think everybody wants to see or whatever. Like, stop with the filters. Like, be personal, be authentic. And I know that's hard because you've got different people might respond to you differently and all of that. So you don't have to, I'm not saying be open and share all your dirty laundry and stuff, but just respond as a human being. If you are
Mhm.
funny and witty, be funny and witty. If you're ironic or you quirky, do it. Be you. People should be able to see your profile and know you in real life and say, yep, yep, that's her.
Which is why you see so many books that we post online, because we read all the time.
Okay, so you told me earlier today you ran into somebody, a friend at the coffee shop, and y'all
Mhm.
had this really nice conversation, spontaneous, nice conversation. And so that's what I'm saying when I say be personal, be authentic. Talk to somebody on social like you would if you ran into them. So let's say you have a friend who posted, good news or something happened. You wouldn't just thumbs up them in person. You don't walk up and just give them a big old thumbs up. I mean, you would say, "Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for you. Wow, and you've worked so hard for this." Or you would have a conversation.
Yep.
So let's give another example. We did share our cluttered closets and our
Oh
piles
my
of stuff.
gosh. Still
Which
can't
is
believe you did that. And it's getting attention. I can't believe you did that.
okay. Go back to our episode about declutter. I don't know the number off the top of my head, but it was a couple ago. But that's what I mean. Like, even when you don't mean to, you can come across as perfect or everything is amazing. That leads into the next point. Just show mercy to others. And when I say that, I mean, when you see someone say something on Facebook or interact or whatever, or Instagram, Twitter, and especially if you know them, don't assume they mean to be rude or ugly. Give them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe they're having a really bad day. Maybe something rubbed them the wrong way. Maybe they're hurting. Maybe, there's a whole lot of other things. And it really doesn't matter. But we are called to love people and to show God's mercy. And God would give us the benefit of the doubt and
Mhm.
want to us to reconcile with him. So I say that as a way to don't contribute to the negativity. Just let it go. Don't get in the argument.
If you wouldn't say it to their face, don't say it online. There's a real person with real emotions and real feelings on the other side of the screen, on
Mm-hmm.
their side of the keyboard. And that reminds me of something Dad used to say all the time.
Oh
Do you
gosh.
remember, Lisa? If you don't have anything nice to
Oh,
say, don't
don't
say
say
anything
anything at
at
all.
all. But tell me you don't still hear his voice ringing in your
Oh
ears
yeah,
when I say it.
exactly. But
Hmm.
it's those little dadisms, right, that get you because he's right. What good is it to sit there and be ugly back? I know I just feel guilty afterwards.
Yeah. Don't you think you're going to convince somebody else of your point of view if you just keep harping on them negatively online? You don't even know them, maybe, and you're just going to sit there and argue with them. Why? To what end? What purpose?
Right. Right.
Just keep scrolling. You don't have to respond.
And when you're tempted, and sometimes not much anymore, but early on, those days where you would like type it out and then you delete, 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 delete,
Delete, delete, delete,
little
delete,
button.
delete, delete, delete.
I would say
Hmm.
pause. Don't hit enter. Just pause. Maybe prayerfully consider how to respond and just take that moment before you do it because, like you said, is it worth it? Is it helpful? Is it kind? Is it supportive? And you remember that old meme that said like the guy sitting on the computer late and the wife comes in and she's like, "You need to come to bed." And he's like, "I can't. Somebody on the internet is wrong." Do you remember that?
Oh, I live that. I am that person. Are you kidding?
So don't be that person. It's okay. People in your real life in front of you are wrong too. And my husband's going to hate me for saying this because they think I'm a hypocrite. But I'm like, you don't have to convince them that you're right and they're wrong. And he's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe she just said that.
I'm going to hold up a mirror and be like,
Yeah,
are
yeah.
you sure?
But that's how I know is because I struggle with it. I've been on the wrong end of this one too many times.
Which episode did we? Oh, no, it was the Mary episode where we talked about you wanting everything in triplicate and in writing and sign
Yes,
on the
yes,
deal, and you're going to argue all the way to it.
yes. And this is where I remind you I'm not perfect and I don't have all
And we
the
don't have all
answers.
the answers.
I'm sharing with you my faults so that you can learn from them. Okay.
Wait, you mean we're engaging as we do in real life?
Oh my gosh, we're being authentic. Okay, go.
Lisa,
Yes.
another one is to, and you came up with this. I'm not going to take credit for that one, but I'm going to say it. It is to tithe our social media posts. Now, did you come up with that? Did you hear it somewhere? I can't
I
remember.
don't remember. I really don't
It's
remember.
been a long
It's been a
time.
long time. I've been saying this one for probably 10 years.
So the challenge is to dedicate at least 10% of your social media post to God. And I actually have used this in Life Teen small groups before when I talk to girls about how they present online. And I say, well, do you give back to God And they say no. I said, well, do you follow anybody online who's Catholic or who has positive motivational things? And they say no. And I say, well, I challenge you to dedicate at least 10% of your social media posts to God. Do it in your own way. There's lots of
Mhm.
fun saint quotes or reflection on prayer or memes. Oh, you remember you and I used to check in every time we went to church?
Mhm. Back when checking in was a really big deal. Remember that?
I have a lot of Facebook memories that pop up that remind me that
Mhm.
today I'm at Mass. Today I'm at Life Team.
Yes.
Today I'm at
Yes.
Mass.
Whenever I would make my family get to mass really early because like one of our kids was serving or whatever, my husband would
Oh,
always, we'd end up like sitting on the front and
I
we'd be
remember
there
this.
really early. And he would always take a selfie and post it and check in. And there's no one behind you, right? And he's like, whew, glad we made it to mass on time. It's empty. And so, but it's his fun way of, he wasn't saying like, I'm at mass, but he was making a joke, having fun with it. And so I think that's what you mean, right? When you say like, do it your way,
hmm
whatever your personality is.
Wasn't there a hashtag view from the pew that went around for a while? I don't know if
There
it's still a
was.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's still a thing anymore, but it used to be. And so we would do it. There are times when I like one day's like if the stained glass is just hitting the right way or something, take a picture and then share about it later and just have those moments. But I don't think it has to be overt either.
Ooh, I have an idea of a way someone could tie their social media post. They could share this podcast. they
Oh,
could
I like
they could
that.
share it and tell
I like
people, "Hey, I
it.
like these sisters," because you like us, right? Or you wouldn't be listening. I like these sisters and their weird banter between each other. I like these sisters, and I think you would like them too.
There we go. I like that. So we talked about how we're called to evangelize, and you might be going like, "How is this evangelization?" Okay, I actually have a real story for this one that happened to me. So Shelly and I, you and I have both have posted over the years scripture, whatever Sunday mass scripture was, maybe and
Yeah,
share those
gospel
kinds of things.
reflections.
Yeah, that kind of, or even I remember I used to just do like the cute little graphic, just a verse from the gospel or something. And I had a friend who I've known for a long time, and he is not Catholic; he's Christian, very, very, very strong in his faith. And it was funny that he reached out to me once and said something like, "I you posted this scripture verse today, and I'm seeing the same verse from several different people in my feed. Like, what's up?" And he did not realize that all Catholic churches have the same readings on the same day.
Oh.
And so it actually became an opportunity for us to have a conversation because he didn't know that. I mean, why would he know that, right? He didn't know that. And so it was a small moment. And to add to that, when once I started sharing a little bit more about my faith online, I had friends come up to me in person who knew that I wasn't shy about this, and they would ask me questions about Catholicism. And most of them were things that, those things that aren't true about Catholicism, but people think they are, those weird ones. But I never took offense. It was great. It was such a conversation starter. And so you just, you don't know the spark that sharing might open in someone else, or they're having a really rough day and they needed that prayer, that moment, or they needed something positive to see on social media at that moment.
That's a great story. I'd forgotten about that. You told me that once, and
Mm-hmm.
I'd completely forgotten. So, I don't know when it was I figured out that other Christian churches didn't have the exact same readings every Sunday.
Yeah, yeah,
I always thought everybody had the same readings every Sunday.
because that's how we grew up. Right. All
Right?
right.
That's all we knew.
I think, Shell, you have a fourth one that you want to add to our
Yes.
list.
Yes. So, we're talking about ways that we can spread the good news on social media. I think number 4 would have to be like, follow, and support others who are engaged in evangelization on this digital continent. I mean, there's a lot out there, y'all. If you are already following some of this, if we're your first introduction to it, I really encourage you to go and seek because there's priests and religious who are living their faith and ministries out online. There's young people, there's older people, there's our age people. Okay, I stuck us in the middle, you know.
I like that. I
I
like how we
mean,
are middle aged, so that works.
yeah, I mean, I'll give a plug. My daughter has a podcast for young adult. She calls it Holy Spontaneity, and it's finding God in spontaneous moments in life. And I love that she's living her faith out loud and trying to share it with others as well.
Hmm.
So if you have young adults or older teenagers, you might point them to Holy Spontaneity.
How about you put it in the show notes?
Oh, I will put it in the show
Put it in
notes.
the show
That's a great
notes.
idea. But even my 11-year-old likes a priest named Father David Michael Moses. He's a young priest. He's somewhere in the Houston area. I've been thinking about taking my son up to see a mass celebrated by Father David Michael. So there's tons of things you can like and follow. There's all kinds of personalities.
I'll add to that in that yes, there's lots of religious, there's lots of priests, there's bishops, there's ministries, but there's also just individuals who are out there sharing and support them. I mean, like, love, comment on what they're saying and doing and encourage them to continue because it can feel lonely sometimes, or sometimes the negativity is louder than the support. And so I think what you're saying, Shell, is that we really need to go and support others so that we'll just keep building on it and we won't give up on doing this because sometimes it can feel like you're, what is it called? Shouting into the wind or something, or into the noise. And so, yeah. And I'm going to add, if you find that you're seeing too much negativity, go purposely find the positive. It is
Yes.
out there and it
Mm-hmm.
might not be showing up in your feed, but if you search for it and follow it and unfollow some of the other stuff, you will start seeing it more and more. And if you interact with it, those algorithms will kick in and you'll start seeing it more and more. And I think that is so important in that we assert a little more control rather than just mindlessly scrolling through our feeds.
Oh, that's a great point, Lisa.
This isn't new. Finding ways to communicate God's message, it's not new. People have been doing it forever. What's new is just that social media is newer, in the internet.
Oh, what's new are the technologies, because we can even go back into scripture and look at St. Paul writing to Timothy in Second Timothy, which is where a sound mind and spirit comes from. I'll just throw that out there. But that if you read through Second Timothy, you will see St. Paul saying to Timothy, remind people of these things and charge them before God to stop disputing about words. It serves no useful purpose since it harms those who listen. Be eager to present yourself as acceptable to God, a workman who causes no disgrace, imparting the word of truth without deviation. Avoid profane, idle talk, for such people will become more and more godless, and their teaching will spread like gangrene. Avoid foolish and ignorant debates, for you know that they breed quarrels. Now, is St. Paul writing 2,000 years ago, or is St. Paul writing to us today? It's the same message.
And you could argue that if he were here today, he would be saying that in a reel. He would be putting it out there wherever he could. I mean, that's my guess because he was all about, spreading and he was writing back then. He wrote letters and letters and letters, but he would be out there doing whatever he could to get God's message out.
You just made me think of St. Paul doing a B reel
Why not?
in prison. He'd take a picture of the
Yeah.
bars and he'd take a picture of himself in prison,
There you
still
go.
preaching the gospel and the good news.
You got to do what you got to do. You got to go where you need to be to spread God's message.
And that actually reminds me of another saint quote. St. Francis Xavier Cabrini said, I will go anywhere and do anything in order to communicate the love of Jesus to those who do not know him or have forgotten him.
Ooh, I like that. I like that a lot. Yeah. Well, I think that's the point. Is we as Christians, we definitely have the opportunity, and we possibly have the responsibility to be present in a way that could shift the tone of social media and these online spaces. So we could shine this light of God's love by sharing the good news, by being personal, real, authentic, and by showing mercy to others in the community and offering support to others who are doing so.
Okay, I think you just ended it because that was beautiful, Lisa. I love what you did. I mean, I have no words. There's nothing I can say to follow that.
I think what we should do, okay, this is spur of the moment because you said this
Oh my
earlier.
gosh.
I think we should issue a social media challenge. I think instead of a question, or we should have a question, but it should be the response should be a social media challenge.
Okay, tell us what it is.
Okay, so listeners or us, whoever, are going to post something in line with what we've talked about this be the light, and you can say be the light.
Stir into flame the gift of God.
There you go. Be the good you want to see on social media. Something, right? Post it, share it, tweet it. Do you call it tweet it anymore if it's X now? I don't know.
I don't know what they're going to call it.
Yeah, Instagram it, whatever. Do something with it. And then tag us. Hopefully you're following us. And then tag us. And we'll put all of our social media in the show notes. And if you don't know where the show notes are, in your podcast player, there's like a whole description underneath. And that's what we're talking about when we say show notes. And there's links in there to what we're doing and that kind of stuff. To find us on Instagram, we are Sound, Mind, and Spirit. So all spelled out. Facebook, you search Sound, Mind, and Spirit on Facebook. And Twitter, I'm not looking at it right now, but I think it's Sound, Mind, Spirit. I don't think there's an and in the Twitter one, but we'll put the links.
You know where they can also get that if they want it, Lisa, is on our website,
Oh.
soundmindandspirit.com. It's right there in the where to find us.
That's true. Tag us and then use a cool hashtag so that everyone else can see it. Unless you're on Facebook, don't hashtag. Sorry, that's the social media marketer in me. I like this topic, and I know there's so much negativity online, and I just feel strongly about, rather than abandoning it, leaving it, because I know we all feel like it sometimes, we need a reminder of why we're there, and this is why we're there.
I love hearing the passion in your voice when you say that, Lisa.
We'll have another episode about what to do with the realities of how the negativity can affect us, but for now, I want to stick to the positive. Let's just go shine God's love online.
That's right.
All right. Thank you, dear listener, for listening to me rant and rave about all the goodness online. Hopefully you will take to heart our ideas and let us know if you agree. We hope to see you here next week. Remember, we release episodes on Thursdays. So hit that subscribe button, share with your friends, and leave us a review because it helps other people find our podcast. All right. Are you ready to be done with this topic and to move on?
Well, I'm feeling inspired to go post something on Instagram right now. So maybe I'll go whip up my favorite scripture or something and get it out there.
All right. We hope to see you back next week. Thanks, Shelley.
Thank you, Lisa. Bye, y'all.
Bye.